David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight, breaking news, the emergency at O'Hare Airport. A United Airlines flight forced to abort takeoff as it was barreling down the runway. Emergency responders on the tarmac, Reeve standing by. Also breaking tonight, U.S. troops and the war in Iran. Tonight, the alarming reports of American sailors on the USS Abraham Lincoln attempting to go overboard. What some military family members are now saying. Tonight, another carrier on the way to relieve the USS Lincoln. Martha Raddatz and what she's learned. The images coming in tonight, the state of emergency, historic flooding and life-threatening conditions. And tonight, look at this. Emergency teams now using drones with night vision to search for possible victims. Where the storms hit tonight, and we're now watching a new tropical storm will track it. Tonight, breaking news in the federal case against alleged CEO killer Luigi Mangione. After what we first reported last night here, sources now telling ABC News tonight that Mangione could plead guilty as early as tomorrow. Tonight, news coming in, a passenger partially sucked out of a broken window on a passenger plane at 15,000 feet. The man's wife pulling him back in and how this happened. Tonight, the new battle over the Kennedy Center. What President Trump's hand-picked board has just decided what the Kennedy Center will now be called. Tonight here, our series, This American Wonder. The tallest trees in the world, some more than 2,000 years old, and they're right here in America. The effort to save the redwoods and the stunning moment the elk emerged from the woods during our interview.
This is incredible. Look at how close they're coming.
It's nice. It's beautiful.
You'll see how close they came, and tonight we've now learned what's just been given back to the original stewards of that park. And just one winner for the $1 billion Powerball, and what we've now learned.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us on a very busy Thursday night. We begin tonight here with the breaking news, the emergency at O'Hare Airport. A United Airlines jet barreling down the runway, suddenly aborting takeoff. The images coming in just a short time ago, the United flight blowing two tires while speeding down the runway at 115 miles per hour. The pilot aborting takeoff. 167 passengers and crew forced to deplane right onto the runway. Emergency team standing by, and ABC's Reeve leading us off tonight.
Tonight, the terrifying emergency on takeoff at Chicago's busy O'Hare Airport.
455 is rejecting the takeoff. No assistance required at this time. Stand by for additional.
Definitely blew a tire.
A packed United 737 jet heading to Phoenix with 167 people on board, thundering down the runway at 115 miles per hour when it suddenly blew two main gear tires.
We saw lots of chunks of tire going down the runway.
The pilot slamming on the brakes, aborting takeoff, that jet screeching to a halt. Passengers forced to evacuate by stairs, right there on the runway. Buses transporting them back to the terminal.
And David, fortunately, no one was injured. And tonight, the FAA is investigating how the plane suffered those two blown tires, forcing everyone off the plane and onto the runway. David?
Reeve on the breaking story tonight. Thanks so much. In New York City tonight, a major development in the federal case against alleged CEO killer Luigi Mangione. After our report last night here, sources now telling ABC News that Mangione could plead guilty as early as tomorrow. Here's Matt Rivers.
Tonight, just weeks before his state murder trial, sources say accused CEO killer Luigi Mangione plans to plead guilty in federal court. Sources tell ABC News the dramatic announcement is set for tomorrow at a hearing in downtown Manhattan. Mangione faces 2 federal counts of stalking, resulting in the death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, gunned down in Manhattan in 2024.
If he was ever going to have an argument about double jeopardy, this is the way to do it. Plead guilty in the federal case, make an argument in New York State where it's very protective against double jeopardy that he shouldn't be tried again.
Mangione also charged with second-degree murder in a state case, pleading not guilty. It's unclear how a federal plea might affect that state trial set to begin September 8th. David, this potential guilty plea is not yet final. Mangione could still decide to change his mind. David?
Matt Rivers on this again tonight. Matt, thank you. Also breaking tonight, the alarming news involving American troops and the war in Iran. Tonight, disturbing reports of sailors on the USS Abraham Lincoln attempting to go overboard, what some military family members are now saying. Tonight, we've learned another carrier is now on the way to relieve the USS Lincoln. ABC's Martha Raddatz with late reporting tonight.
Tonight, growing concerns over conditions aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln after a staggering 250 days at sea, including more than 200 consecutive days without a single port call. The majority of those days, combat operations in the Middle East. Some sailors' families reportedly told the Military Times that at least 2 sailors tried to jump overboard. A U.S. official telling ABC News a sailor on the Lincoln did go overboard earlier this month and was quickly recovered. The incident is under investigation. Tonight, Democratic lawmakers demanding answers from the Pentagon following alarming reports of poor conditions on the carrier, including extreme exhaustion, plummeting morale, and mounting mental health strains. Massachusetts Congressman Seth Moulton calling for an investigation. We spoke with him moments ago.
We're trying to get as many details as we can. But the bottom line is this should never happen.
Tonight, Secretary Pete Hegseth pushing back on reports sailors are struggling.
Completely misrepresented. Listen, we make sure that every ship, every crew, every captain has everything we can provide them at every single moment.
And David, the USS George Washington now on its way, slated to replace the Lincoln, although it's unclear tonight when the swap will take place. But after months of relentless combat operations, it can't come soon enough. David?
Martha Raddatz reporting tonight. Martha, thank you. The state of emergency tonight, historic flooding and life-threatening conditions. The storms in the aftermath. This is Indiana here. And tonight, look at this. Emergency teams now using drones with night vision to search for possible victims. ABC's Alex Perez in the storm zone tonight.
Tonight, after days of howling straight-line winds, a foot of torrential rain, and multiple confirmed tornadoes, rivers are overtaking neighborhoods across parts of the Midwest, all of Indiana under a state of emergency. So many cities and towns around Indianapolis inundated. Christian Cole opening the door to his flooded apartment in Newcastle to this.
My car is completely done for. It ain't going nowhere.
This is what it looked like on Main Street in Cambridge City on Wednesday.
Overwhelming. Like you out of control.
James Aldrich tells me he arrived to find 2 feet of water inside his home. He lost nearly everything.
It's devastating, but everyone's okay, and I have wonderful neighbors, and it's a great community, and we'll get through it.
Rescue operations continuing around the clock. Night vision drone video showing firefighters checking homes in Connorsville, Indiana.
And David, back here in Indiana, they are still dealing with standing floodwaters in many areas, and this is not over just yet. There are flood watches through at least tomorrow in 8 states. David?
We're thinking about all those families tonight. Alex, thanks again. And tonight we're also watching Tropical Storm Lala forming off Hawaii in the central Pacific. The system with winds currently up to 40 miles per hour. It could reach hurricane strength as it takes aim at the Big Island on Saturday. Heavy rain, strong winds, and rough surf expected as early as tomorrow. And of course, we'll continue to track it here. We turn next tonight to our series, This American Wonder. Tonight here, the effort to save the redwoods, the tallest trees in the world, some more than 2,000 years old, and they're right here in America. And tonight we've learned Native Americans, the original stewards of the redwoods, have just been given back some of that land. And you're about to see the moment that stunned us all, the elk, and how close they came in the middle of our interview. Tonight, This American Wonder.
They are a true American wonder. Here in coastal California, we find nature's skyscrapers. Redwood National and State Parks, where the redwoods have stood tall for 20 million years. They are the tallest trees in the world, reaching breathtaking heights up to 380 feet tall, and they tower over us in the park.
I mean, the scope of these trees is breathtaking.
It is. In fact, they believe the oldest redwoods here are more than 2,000 years old.
Think about all the storms, all the droughts, all the fires, all the rainstorms, all the floods that these trees have seen over their lifetimes. It's really humbling.
Ben Blum, Director of Stewardship at the Save the Redwoods League, hopes we remember the towering figures here. They are quiet and majestic, and they are survivors.
You look at this tree, this is older than America.
Yeah.
As we mark 250,
It's older than America.
It's what, 400,
Exactly.
500 years old. But in context of the other trees around, it's kind of a relatively young, old tree, as you say.
Yeah, time is relative.
And they're unique to us.
They're the tallest trees in the world. They store more carbon per acre than any forest in the world, including the Amazon, including rainforests.
And Ben wants to show us something.
First, you need a really large tape measure. So stick that little pokey part in the bark.
Okay.
And then I'll start walking around. We'll see how far we get before I run out of tape.
He begins to measure the circumference of one of these ancient redwoods.
So I just made it to here. We're probably not even halfway around, and I ran out of tape, and that's about 76 inches here. 20 feet.
What was that?
The trunk of this tree is so big, he doesn't realize I can't hear his answer.
How far did you get?
I got to 20 feet.
20 feet. And were you even halfway?
Probably not.
Yeah.
And for height, he uses a laser rangefinder.
Which one are you measuring?
This one right along the trail.
Pointing it to the top of this redwood giant.
That one's over 250.
Over 250 feet?
Yeah.
How long would it take to grow that high?
That's probably 500 to 1,000 years old.
Wow.
Their longevity and strength have long fascinated scientists. Dr. Nalini Nadkarni is a National Geographic explorer who has studied trees for decades.
Here it is. So this tree is 1,500 years old.
1,500 years old.
Wow.
Famously known as Big Tree.
74 feet around.
And nearly 300 feet tall. That's like a 30-story building in New York City.
I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
The redwoods are resilient.
You see this burn scar.
I do.
These trees are survivors.
They're survivors. So they have incredibly thick bark that can be like a foot thick.
And it's almost a sponge-like
It's
quality.
like a sponge-like quality. They don't have resins in there like pine trees do, which make them very flammable. These guys are not flammable. They are the opposite of flammable.
Nalini has long been captivated with what unfolds at the top.
This is not for the faint of heart here.
No, it's not.
Walking at 100 feet up.
I know.
But it gives you an extraordinary view of these redwoods.
It really does.
She guides us some 100 feet up on a suspension bridge where we sway between the redwoods.
It gets you closer to the crowns.
Yes.
Where entirely different communities are living in these trees.
Absolutely. So there are ecosystems there with mosses and lichens, with canopy soils, with salamanders that you just never would see on the forest floor.
It's an extraordinary study in contrast from the forest floor as you move upward through these redwoods. You can see entire ecosystems sort of changing as you climb these 800-year-old redwoods. We're about 100 feet up right here. You can see different parts of the forests sustaining themselves in different ways, the sunlight coming through. And if you look to the top of these redwoods, still hundreds of feet above where I am right now, there are entire ecosystems at the tops of these trees, living organisms that sustain themselves with the sun they're able to reach at the very top, with very little interest in ever being part of the forest floor. It is the tapestry that makes up the redwoods.
These redwoods, standing strong for centuries, hundreds of feet into the air, are hiding a secret down below. Just beneath the ground, we are amazed to learn that their roots are not deep. Instead, they spread sideways in every direction, even through the streams and riverbanks that run through these woods. Those shallow roots, intertwined with other trees, allow the redwoods to rely on one another, to help each other survive the storms and the fires. But there was something else they faced, the logging that began here in the mid-1800s. Americans at the time saw opportunity with all of these redwoods.
It was viewed almost as like an infinite resource, that there was just no way that they were going to be able to get through it. And then eventually they got through 95% of it.
Which is incredible to think.
Yeah.
Jason Teraoka is a forester at Redwood National and State Parks. He tells us that back when there was logging here, they would then plant seed to replace the trees. New trees would grow, but so close together, they would starve each other. Their goal here now is to thin out some of these trees, to give them a chance to grow into a true redwood giant.
Tiny bit of an adventure, David.
Yeah.
We approach an opening where, after their work here, we can see the sun now streaming in.
You can actually see how much brighter it is right here.
Right, how much sunlight
is actually reaching.
Is kind of getting through.
And the trees are responding.
I mean, that's got to feel somewhat hopeful for you.
Yeah, definitely. Watching the vigor of these trees develop from, a tree that's almost literally starving to a tree that's vigorous and happy. It's great.
So you have hope?
I have hope. I have hope.
The foresters have had help here from the people who lived here first.
So we're walking on ancestral land right here.
Yeah, this is the home of the Yurok people.
Where we're standing right now used to be one of those mills.
Yeah, it used to be an old growth logging mill.
Taking down the beautiful, massive old redwood trees.
Yeah, and milling it here on this site.
Joseph James is the chairman of the Yurok Tribe. Native Americans were the original stewards here. And after decades of trying to restore the land, to clean the water, the mill is no longer here. The trees and the wildlife coming back. And just days ago, we learned the Yurok Tribe regained 125 acres of their ancestral land. That former lumber mill, now a gateway to the park, returned to the original stewards. And we noticed the elk emerging at the edge of the woods.
We've seen their numbers grow as we've been standing here.
Yeah.
And to me, it just symbolizes the return of wildlife here and the land to what you believe it originally was.
Well, we call that that's good medicine. That's good prayer. Restoring, bringing things back. That's the way it was. What comes to my mind and my heart is good medicine.
Good medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're talking, we marvel at their curiosity.
This is incredible. Look at how close they're coming.
It's nice. It's beautiful.
They're staring at us as we look out at the work you've all done to try to bring this back.
It's a beautiful day. It's a good day for the Yurok Tribe and Indian people and our partners who thought this day would never happen or never come.
And as the sun was setting at Redwood National and State Parks, the elk were on the move. And Joseph, who grew up here, told me that the elk have never come that close.
Yeah, that was the first time I came that close.
Really?
Yeah.
That you've ever had that?
Yeah, that close.
I mean, that's got to make you feel like there's been progress here.
Oh, 100%, David. This is things that we pray for, to bring things back into balance. Makes your heart full.
We should point out tonight that the Save the Redwoods League has been instrumental in helping the Yurok Tribe restore the land. They've been working on this for decades. So far, the tribe regaining 60,000 acres of its ancestral territory. We love traveling this country, and we'll stay on it. When we come back tonight, we are learning about a passenger who was partially sucked out of a broken window on a passenger plane at 15,000 feet. And tonight, the Kennedy Center, what President Trump's hand-picked board has just decided, what the Kennedy Center will now be called. In a moment here. Tonight, the NTSB's preliminary report into a harrowing incident. A Ryanair passenger partially sucked out of a plane. Investigators say a window was smashed by multiple fan blades, breaking off an engine last month, and that it was possibly caused by a bird strike. The passenger's wife and others helping to pull him back in. That plane flying from Greece to Germany, returning safely to the airport. When we come back tonight, President Trump's hand-picked board, what they've just decided, what the Kennedy Center will now be called. In a moment here. To the index of other news tonight, a new turn involving the Kennedy Center. The president's hand-picked board voting to close the center for 2 years for renovations. They also voted on what to call it. The front of the facility will now say the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for the Performing Arts, restored and renovated by President Donald J. Trump. In May, a federal judge rejected the board's attempt to rename the center and ordered the president's name removed. To Powerball tonight, just one ticket winning that billion-dollar jackpot. Wasn't any of us. We're all here tonight. That ticket sold at a convenience store in Quincy, Illinois, near St. Louis. By the way, that store also winning $500,000 for selling the ticket. And in that state, lottery winners can claim complete anonymity, so no word on what the winner will do. When we come back here tonight, what they told us about the elk getting so close. Tonight, before we go, a note about our series, This American Wonder, and we're just getting started. But we will never forget that moment at Redwood National and State Parks when the elk came out of the woods and right up to us during our interview. Everyone was moved, including members of the Yurok Tribe who've lived there their whole lives and said they never got that close. I'm David Muir. From all of us here, have a good evening. Good night.
David Muir, the most trusted, most watched newscast in America. And now, World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the 4th year in a row.